Danke schön für Ihren Vortrag, schönen Vortrag. Und ich möchte sagen, dass am Ende Ihres Vortrags habe ich erinnern, Dante Alighieri, der kannte Thomas d'Aquino und sagte, dass am Ende des Wegs der Seele sie sieht Gott als Licht, ein großes Licht für immer. Ja. Und das ist ganz schön, danke. Ho detto che mi sono ricordato di Dante Alighieri, che conosceva bene Tommaso d'Aquino, che alla fine del percorso dell'anima che sarà al cielo vede questo Dio, luce, che continuamente si rinnova innanzi agli uomini. Ein anderer Beobachtung, und ich möchte fragen, wenn sagten Sie, dass in Luther ist eine Emphasis des ästhetischen Erlebnisses der Schönheit. Ich frage, ob wir können auch denken an eine Theologie der Schönheit in Luther. Ist es möglich zu erforschen? Bitte schön. Ho chiesto se alla fine, quando parla di enfasi sull'esperienza estetica della bellezza, qui non possiamo pensare veramente ad una teologia della bellezza da ricercare in Lutero. Visto che si dice, io l'ho sentito da un eminente studioso che qui non nomino, e dice ma non esiste una teologia della bellezza in Lutero. Ma questo potrebbe essere un inizio. Grazie.
Thank you. I heard two things. The first was a comment on the Visio Dei, the Theoria at the end that is prominent, not by Aquinas and Alighieri. And the second was a question of the theology of beauty. To the first, I think that it's a common Christian idea that to have to see God, the unseeable here, to see God in heaven is a very fundamental idea, and it comes from it's particularly strong, I think, in Augustine. What I found very striking about Luther, and I haven't seen that before I prepared this talk, was that the very optic, the glasses that he imagines, they are actually usable also for the vision of normal things. It intensifies, so to speak, the experience of beauty in this world, because what is transformed as what is going to live forever is not only our invisible soul, but it's also our bodies. There's a bodily element to the celestial life in the hereafter, so to speak. And I think this is it opens up for your question whether it is possible of a theology of beauty in Luther. I surely do. I think all from the gaze, when Luther describes, for instance, the shepherds standing and watching the cradle with a small child, he uses some of the same language that he uses here. They see God's glory And it's this glory implanted in this very child of Christ that is the object of seeing, so to speak. Now the problem of the eye, the optical illusion, is that we think that the beauty of our eyes, it can be poisoned, so to speak. We can mix up true beauty with false beauty. So you're always in this problem of being in the world and being in a state of sin. But I think there is something more to say about the calibration of the optics, so to speak, the Lutheran glasses, if you may. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here. I keep learning, and I learned a lot again. My question is the following. If we look at the early disputation Contra Scholastica, right, and then the Theologia Gloriae is the one who's doing all things wrong, right? He's getting the whole thing wrong because he's following what he can actually see. And the Theologia Crucis, now thesis 19, 20, 21, 22, Theologia Crucis, he's able to see, to detect God because he's following the cross. Now the later Luther obviously is more interested in the incarnation and somehow to an extent changes his theology, I think. He's able to see more in a literal sense by emphasizing the incarnation. But I'm wondering to which extent he corrects himself, or whether there's a continuity of a Theologia Crucis in this theology of glory of the late Luther. And how's that connected? So it's not just we pass through death and then everything's fine, but how's the Theologia Crucis dimension in this theology of glory? How is it still there?
Thank you. This is a question that strikes at the heart, because I'm brought up with this distinction between the theology of the cross and the theology of glory as a fundamental distinction, and I found this later Luther coming, sort of re-establishing the visionary, the optical, and it was not only the preference for the ear, but it was also a feast for the eye. Now, if we look closely at the text that I've read, quoted from Luther, there is clearly an emphasis, an eschatological emphasis, that it's not this feast of the eyes. It's not here. He describes the heavenly life, but and to reclaim, so to speak, beauty, to demand to go to Milan every year, so to speak, would be perhaps to stretch it a bit far. So there's a restriction in that. Nevertheless, I would say that the elements that he uses in the description of the celestial life, they are present here among us. We can feel and I think perhaps it is also important because we can see a beauty as something material, not only in ourselves, but also in our neighbors, those who are surrounding us. Because the question is also, if I'm allowed just let me connect his question to the last thesis in De Homine, the thesis 40. Then there's a restriction there. And Luther says we are not going to, or St. Paul doesn't call reason a worldly reason, but he calls it a scheme, a figure of reason. This way of thinking that the world thinks, or this worldly reason is a problem, and he describes that at the end. So he has actually a tale where he says, well, now it's not just, everything is not just heavenly, but the figure, this figura, this schema of things, the worldly scheme of things, I think that has to do with the optic itself. It's this optic that tries to stabilize beauty forever, that covers these the desire to stay with beauty, so to speak, to gather it as a nobleman or as a king, or to have it as an empire. Still, I would say that it is the vision of material things as elements in the celestial life can also produce a certain diaconia, a certain care for others, not just in their souls or but also in their bodies. It's a social care. It's a leiblich. It's corporal in a sense, and perhaps even, and I'm tempted to mention that it might also be a vision of a politics, of a social life that is actually made up of concrete human beings with matter, with material, not just with numbers and honors and so forth. Well, anyway, I was tempted by your question.
Much. And now our little present. Adesso facciamo una piccola pausa, una decina di minuti, diciamo così, all'incirca, perché siamo un pochettino scivolati coi tempi, ma ce la dobbiamo fare. Quindi ci vediamo fra una decina di minuti. Cominciamo. Sì.